I applied 55 plus times in Microsoft. That you cannot do very easily. Let me put it straight. If the LearnTube would have been there, what it would have happened is that.
Hi Mukul, how are you today?
All good. How are you? The same.
Thank you so much for joining us. We're very excited at LearnTube to have you talk about your journey. My name is Gargi. I am the founding team of LearnTube and I head everything marketing, partnerships, people and culture. I would love to understand, what kind of educational background you came from, what are the previous roles and what sparked the interest in product management.
PM or product management was a kind of a newer thing in the market as a whole. So when I say that, not a lot of people, today in 2023, a lot of people want to go into PM and all those stuff. But at that time, if I talk about 7 years ago, that was pretty new on that aspect. So, our role itself as an analyst even, and, when I got promoted to assistant manager, which was nothing but a senior analyst at that time, 1.5 year down the line in 2017, 2018. So that role itself was grooming into the product owner or a PO, which we used to call it, or product manager, similar kind of verbiage. So that itself was team was grooming into that kind of role. So when I say product owner, it's nothing but doing some pieces of analysis, analytics there, and then also working with the engineering or say software engineers to groom the product and to define the strategy and the roadmap and work on those pieces of analysis. So that is nothing but product management only. By chance, an opportunity came up in Microsoft. I switched there. I luckily got through, and I prepared a lot because the role in every organization. I mean, this is a thing to learn that in every organization, the PM role is entirely different. Then it's not a common thing and it's not a standard across organization that you'll work on the similar things. It's not at all the same. So then I prepared for a month or so regularly after my working hours, I would say, and then luckily got through that Microsoft role. And what I do here is very less of analysis now. It's mostly the thing. My roles and responsibilities include driving the product roadmap. It's basically how the product will look 6 months or say 1 year down the line, how it will shape up, and with AI coming up, how we can inculcate AI and chatbots into our product, how we can address the user pain points, how it is beneficial for the overall user journey, and then preparing kind of a backlog of things to work on for our software engineers only.
I want to talk a little bit about, you spoke about, prepping after work for about a month or so. But obviously that's more like, so two parts to this question, right? One is that what were those things you did in that 1 month, right? Which was, if you can talk about, like, say, three things that you did consistently, which are the most important to cracking your role at Microsoft. That's number one. And obviously the second part is that that 1 month wouldn't be the only thing enabling this, right? It would have been
Absolutely.
a lot of prep towards, that particular role that your journey itself would have been. So if you can talk about, what kind of, upskilling you did throughout your journey and if there were any certification programs or anything at all that you did. So part one is that, and part two is the particular things you did before the interview.
Sure. I mean, I would say that's a great question. The reason being that, today if I go to learning product management somewhere on the portal, such as YouTube or anywhere, it's pretty random. And you have to, firstly make kind of a mentor or someone to go to who will, give you the right resources to prepare on, because you cannot go randomly here and there to seek learnings. And that is what kind of not happened to me by chance. So the thing was, there was a person on LinkedIn who, sent me few of the links because he's kind of a product guide itself, himself. So he sent me a few 7, 8 links, which had multiple YouTube channel links, which was one was like I think PM School, one was Diego Granados, who talks about certain PM roles. So those links, I did not go to each and every link in detail and everything because a lot of things I already knew. Like you say, multiple pieces to this. One is definitely my current experience, which was PM there at American Express, which already had equipment with some of the things that I had to, know already before switching to any other firm. So let's say, backlog grooming, or let's say analytics, or let's say how a product manager thinks and what exactly we do in day-to-day life. Although it is way different from in Microsoft than it was in American Express, but still I had that kind of a background to, for the interviews to think of me as a potential, very good candidate to be part of their organization. So it was not like that I'm a, an architect or a software engineer who are jumping into a PM role. That you cannot do very easily. Let me put it straight. Because a prior experience is very, very important. You cannot be an analyst and then switch into PM directly. It cannot be the case. So prior experience I had, prior skills, some of what I had, but what I did not have was to how to crack PM interviews, because I had not done that anytime earlier. Even in MX, I had cracked only the analyst interview. Analyst to AM, I definitely, when you within MX, when you are an assistant manager and then become a manager, then also some interview round happen. It's not a gradual process that you become a manager, because manager is a team lead role. But there as well, it was mostly a team lead kind of questions, and how you will manage team, how you will manage conflicts, how you manage people, those kind of questions, rather than product management questions. Because within organization, they know that you are equipped with the skills and you are working day in and out, you have good ratings. So those kind of skill related questions they never ask you. But in Microsoft, that was not the case. They had to ask me the core product questions. So I was not prepared for that. So for that, what I did was I went, I mostly browsed through YouTube and the channels like PM School and one channel by Dio Granados, and there were some others, few others. I can also share that links as well. So what those videos had were kind of 50-minute to 1 hour interviews, basically. Where interviewer, they were mostly asking the product strategy, product roadmap, those kind of questions. So those are kind of mock interviews. So there you get to know as to how to structure your thoughts and what exactly to speak when asked about a certain question. Because what happens in product management is, in most basically interviews, is that there's no right or wrong answer to a question. They'll not ask you a puzzle and say that, hey, the exact answer to this is A plus B equals to C. No, not at all. You can probably groom it, and you first have to ask counter questions to that questions as to what the interviewer is asking, as to why they're asking, whether it is relevant even from our domain or not, and then probably think about a solution. Solution is the main thing rather than reaching out to an answer. It's mostly like a guess estimate. In guess estimates, we probably search for solution rather than the exact answer. If there's no exact answer in a guess estimate, likewise, in a PM interview, there's no correct answer. It's mostly how you structure your thoughts, how you define it, and how you answer those. So that kind of a, interview prep is mostly I did in 1 month. It's not like, I learned a new skill altogether, or, but how to structure my thoughts and, have something like a star phase approach. There is something like a star, and then there is another kind of framework. Those kind of a framework I learned, which I would again say is not much relevant from the day in, day out job. But for cracking the interviews, you have to have that mindset and a strategy. There's a slice of luck as well that is required, to be honest. I applied 55 plus times in Microsoft. I mean, I've not boasted this on LinkedIn because I'm too tired to write and long essays on LinkedIn. But let me tell you that I've applied 70 plus times in Google, 40 plus times in Adobe, and 55 plus times in Microsoft. And that's the
Wow.
only 3 companies I was aspiring to. There's not a fourth company I was aspiring to when I was in American Express. So 55 rejections, it was not like, 55 times I was interviewed. No, it was just like application moving to the from submitted to and not selected kind of stage, no interviews done. Likewise for Google, likewise for Adobe. So had that luck, been got me an opportunity earlier, I may have cracked an interview and got through.
Picking up from that, if say at the start of your career, or say when you were switching from Emacs to Microsoft, you had a tool or a platform like LearnTube, right? Earlier in your career or journey, how do you think that would have impacted your journey, and what do you think is the value of guided and specialized learning?
Yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, you have to have a mentor or someone so that your journey is more streamlined and not unstructured. In my case, that person, I think that was Sumit, who was already in Microsoft. He recently had joined Microsoft. So he shared some of the links. So by chance, I went through and I had all the collated information which was required for me to, switch job at that time. And I browsed just those links. I did not see even a single link outside of that, even a single Google page outside of those 6 to 7 links he shared. And those 6 to 7 links had just videos which were, different. Some were product strategy, some were product roadmap, some were related to how to, have some phased approach while giving interviews. So that kind of if you have a LearnTube or some kind of those kind of platform, that definitely helps you have a structured or a streamlined kind of approach while preparing for interviews. So that's very crucial, given the fact that in these times we have plethora of information available on the internet and plethora of resources like Google, even YouTube, and even your Udemy or other sites as well. And the learning is scattered. You have to see as to what kind of pieces of information is relevant for you and what is not. So it's not like browsing through data and you crunching everything and crunching some keywords and then just throwing them out in the interviews. That will definitely not help. Having a structure and if the LearnTube would have been there, what it would have happened is that I would have taken instead of 1 month, 1 year to go through every course or something prior to what I was doing, what I did in 1 month. So during that 1 month prep, I used to prepare each day for 1.5 2 hours. But if LearnTube had been there, let's say 1 year before I started preparing, then over the weekends I would have browsed through and became even more, I would say, solidified in my approach.